بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Let's talk about the command verb and its doer. We have talked a lot about verbs. We looked at the present, and before that we looked at the past. So we know al-madi, we know al-mudari. Now it's time to look at al-amr. Al-amr is the easiest one. It's just an extension of mudari. It looks a lot like mudari, but not, of course, completely. It doesn't completely look like mudari. If you know mudari, then amr is easy. So what's fi'lul amr? Fi'lul amr yutlabu bihi husulu shay'in fi zaman al-mustaqbal. That's the definition. It's a fi'l that is used to request or seek something in the future. So the time is future. So if I tell you ishrab, drink, when will you drink? Not in the past, not now, right after. Right after I say it, anything after I say it is al-mustaqbal, fi zaman al-mustaqbal. Ishrab, the fa'il is hidden, anta, and it's damir mustatir. For ishrab, the fa'il is hidden, it's damir muttasil. Damir mustatir, excuse me, not muttasil. Mustatir, okay? So ishrab, the fa'il is anta and it's damirun mustatirun, and this is the only time the fi'lul amr is having a fa'il that is not explicit. It's not mentioned explicitly as a connected pronoun or as an ismun zahirun, a non-pronoun noun. Okay. And this blue alif, the reason why the alif is in blue is because this is Hamzatul Wasl. Hamzatul Wasl. Okay, I'll talk about Hamzatul Wasl in just a few minutes. We have talked about Hamzatul Wasl in the previous courses, Easy Introduction to Arabic. But I'll talk about it again, inshallah, in just a few minutes. So this is the only time the fa'il is Damir Mustatir. In all other cases, the fa'il is damir muttasil. So ishrabi, the fa'il you can see is in red, and it's the ya, the letter ya, and it's for anti. It has the same meaning as anti. So if you look at those pronouns, anti, the ya here is the connected version of anti. Okay, so what is the fa'il for ishrabi? The fa'il for ishrabi is damir muttasil. Ya, what does the word ya mean? It means anti. It's a connected pronoun. And it has the same meaning as anti. And ishraba, you can see how this looks similar to mudare. The fa'il of fi'lul amr looks the same as the fa'il of mudare for the second person, al-mukhatab. And there is no amr for al-mutakallim, and there is no amr for al-ghaib. The amr only exists for al-mukhatab, second person. So there is no amr for ana and nahnu, and there is no amr for huwa, hiya, huma, hum, hunna, huma, hum, hunna. There's no awamir for those. The awamir only work for these pronouns which are for al-mukhatab. So the question then arises, okay, what if I want to do amr for myself, command myself? For that, there's a couple of ways you can do it. One of the ways is lamul amr. And we don't really talk about that because that's purely grammar. But we'll talk about lamul amr. in the next level, inshallah. There is a way to command for the first person as well as for the third person, but you don't use fi'l al-amr. You use mudare preceded by lam al-amr. You just take a lam al-amr and you attach it to mudare. But we're not going to concern ourselves with that in this level. In this level, it's enough for us to know that the fi'l al-amr only works for al-mukhatab. So ishrab is for anta, and that's the only time the fa'il is damir mustatir. In all other cases, the fa'il is damir muttasil. So ishrabi, the fa'il is that ya, and it's in red. Ishraba, the fa'il is in red. It's that alif. Okay, so all of these are fa'il. And the alif, just like ya, all these, the ya, alif, waw, nun, they're all pronouns. What kind of pronouns? Connected pronouns. These are all damir muttasil. So ya is damir muttasil. It has the same meaning as anti. Alif is damir muttasil. It has the same meaning as antuma. Ishrabu, waw is the fa'il, and it has the same meaning as antum. Now there's a green alif here. Green alif means hamza, it's al-alif al-fariqa. The blue alif is hamzatul wasl, and green alif is, they call it al-alif al-fariqa. Al-alif al-fariqa. Al-alif al-fariqa. And what is al-alif al-fariqa? What that means is alif, the separator. It tells you that the word has ended. There are times when it becomes necessary to write this alif. It's not pronounced. This alif is silent. You don't pronounce it, you don't hear it, you don't say it, but you must write it. And the reason is that if you don't write it, there are situations where it could get confusing for the reader. So to prevent that confusion, they always write al-alif al-fariqa, the green alif, after the red waw, meaning that whenever the fi'l has the red waw fa'il, which is the damir muttasil, whether it is al-madi or al-mudari or al-amr, whenever the fi'l has the red waw as the last thing, last letter, then you must write the alif fariqa. Whether it's madi, mudari, or amr, doesn't matter. You must have this alif fariqa. The green alif must appear after the red waw. And that alif is called al-alif al-fariqa. And we saw this in al-madi, and we didn't see it in the examples of the mudari provided in the conjugation table, but you do see it when the mudari is preceded by lan. So let's take a look at al-madi and al-mudari with the green alif, and then we'll come back here and continue with the rest, and I'll also talk about the this alif, the blue alif. So when was the last time we saw al-alif al-fariqa, the silent alif? We saw it when we did al-madi. It appears not for the first person, katabtu, katabna, not for the second person, katabta, katabti, katabtuma, katabtum, katabtunna. Nowhere do you see al-alif al-fariqa until you get to katabu. You see that same green alif, al-alif al-fariqa. So we see it in al-madi, right? And we just saw it again in al-amr. And do you see it in mudari? You only see it in mudari. Let me scroll down to al-mudari. You only see it in al-mudari if the waw, the red waw, is the last thing, and the noon is deleted for grammatical reasons. Those grammatical reasons we talked about, for example, We talked about them in Easy Introduction to Arabic. For example, lan tadhhabu. So if I say lan tadhhabu, then I have that silent alif, the alif al-fariqa right here. You will not go. Otherwise, if it's just tadhhabuna, it would be like this without the alif al-fariqa, because we have the noon. So whenever the noon is deleted because of lan and other particles, then you must put al-alif al-fariqa at the end. And again, the reason for this is to protect the reader from possible misreading. So let's come back to al-amr. Okay. So once again, ishrab for anta, dhamir mustatir, that's the only time it's going to be hidden. For anti, it's ishrabi with the ya fa'il, dhamir muttasil. Antuma ishraba, the red alif you can see is the dhamirul fa'il, and it's dhamir muttasil. And antum ishrabu. Ishrabu, you can see three different colors. The first color is the blue, which is for hamzatul wasl. The next color, black, is for the verb, the fi'l. The waw is in red, that's the fa'il, red fa'il. And the green alif, silent alif. It's only written. When do you write it? If the red waw becomes the last, if the red waw is the last letter in a fi'l, then you must write the green alif. It doesn't matter if the fi'l is al-madi or al-mudari or al-amr, as you see here. Fa'il is waw. And then finally, ishrabna. Ishrabna, the noon is the fa'il, and it means antunna. So antunna is the disconnected version. It's the disconnected pronoun or standalone pronoun, whereas noon here, it's connected version of antunna. The noon here and antunna has the same meaning. When the fa'il is connected to fi'l al-amr, it looks like na, just like that. Okay, ishrabna. So that's al-fi'l, the command, fi'l al-amr. And once again, al-alif al-fariqa literally means the alif, the separator, or the alif, the differentiator. It's a silent alif. It lets you know that the word has ended. The reason why they have it here is because there are cases where it could be misinterpreted, misread, and it's only written, it's never pronounced or heard or spoken. So if you never knew how to read or write Arabic, but you know how to speak Arabic, you would never know something called al-alif al-fariqa. It's only for written purposes. Okay, next we have another table in which I want to make an important point. And that is, you see this, it says dhamir mustatir here, and then it says dhamir muttasil, 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 right? How come we don't see ismun zahirun? You remember ismun zahir? Ismun zahir is literally clear noun or any non-pronoun noun. And that's very important observation. The fi'lul amr, the fa'il of fi'lul amr is only of two types, dhamir mustatir or dhamir muttasil. It can never, ever, ever, ever be ismun zahirun. And that's why I've put together these two examples. Consider these two examples. Ishrab ya Zaidu. If I say Ishrab ya Zaidu, I'm saying drink, oh Zaid. Where is the fa'il? Zaid is not the fa'il. The fa'il is still dhamir mustatir, hidden. Okay, Zaid is not the fa'il. Similarly, if I say Ishrabi ya Fatima, the fa'il is still ya, which means anti. Okay, the fa'il is not Zaid or Fatima. The fa'il can never be ismun ظاهر like Zaid or Fatima or Hadha or Ism al-Ishara or Ism Mosul or any of those other things. The fa'il is always a pronoun. It's always a damir. Either damir mustatir, hidden, or damir muttasil. So the question is, what is this word Zaid? It's called the vocative or al-munada. You don't have to know that in this level. We will talk about it in grammar. The fa'il is called, the fa'il is the letter ya here, and the hidden pronoun anta here, and the word Zaid and Fatima. These words are called vocative or al-munada, the person you're calling. And we don't talk about them in morphology, we talk about them in grammar. And you don't have to worry about them. The only thing I want you to know is Zaid is never the fa'il of fi'lul amr. Fatima is never the fa'il of fi'lul amr. And finally, an important note, tanbih, attention. Fa'ilul amri ya'ti ضميرا متصلا أو مستترا لا اسما ظاهرا. The fa'il, as I've said before, of fi'l amr is ضمير متصل أو or mustatir, hidden. It's either connected or hidden. Never it is ism ظاهر. How many, here's a challenge, how many hidden pronouns, invisible pronouns for any type of fi'l, not just al-amr, are there in Surah Al-Fatiha? This is a challenge. If you know the answer, you can make a comment and inshallah I will respond. So that's it. That is fi'lul amr. Next, you have some practice. Here you will identify the fa'il and the naw'ul fa'il, the type of fa'il it is. Okay, is it ضمير متصل or mustatir? But never ismun ظاهر for al-amr. And then you complete this practice. All of these should be easy because you can see the answers in the previous page. And here's another example, set of examples for practice. And then after you complete this, please check your answers using the online answer keys, then take the quiz for Al-Amr. والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.